I think we should get into a few mailbag questions before we draft. Tommy, why don't you ask the Wiggins question? Because I think this is really interesting.
Yeah, Steven from San Francisco wrote in to us. He said, what do you guys think Andrew Wiggins has done to take the leap? How much of this is a result of just having better teammates?
Okay, so I appreciate the narrative that Andrew Wiggins has taken the leap. He has not taken a leap, okay? I've tried to talk about this every day this week on ESPN, and this is why I wanted to touch on this mailbag question. Is Andrew Wiggins a better player than he was in Minnesota? Yes. The reason he's a better player is because he's starring in his role. He's maximizing his role. So as a number one option, as a guy who was for a number of years, had a usage rate higher than 25%, that shot well below league average in terms of true shooting percentage, well below league average in terms of effective field goal percentage. He was miscast as a primary scorer, primary shot creator. Okay? So if you were saying the leap from that to an efficient primary shot creator, like, he hasn't made that leap. What he has done is made the leap to starring in his role as a third or fourth guy. And I just want to real quick touch on some numbers here. So he averaged 13 twos a game when he was in Minnesota. He's down to 9.2 twos a game. His three-point attempt rate is up from 21% of his shots to 36.5% of his shots. Usage percentage is down. Turnover percentage slightly down. Assist percentage slightly up. Defensive rebound percentage slightly up. True shooting percentage is now about league average, whereas before it was well below league average. It was about league average now. So he's not morphed himself into this like efficient volume scorer, the opposite of what he was. He's found the right fit for him. The fact that he's shooting above league average from three on a shot selection that is primarily consisted of spot up threes. He cuts. He's great in the cutting game, especially as a screener for Steph, and then slipping, and then he's great attacking closeouts. That's his game right now. It's a very different game, so it's not a leap. It's like almost like a different player. Does that make sense, Sue?
Yes, 100%. Sometimes less is more for certain players. I think efficiency is obviously where this conversation lives. And while what I'm about to say doesn't like necessarily pertain to Andrew Wiggins, I always say, I'm like, there's a reason there's a 6th Man of the Year award, because that shit's not easy. Like, it's not easy to be a role player, to be asked to fulfill a role, and to be super efficient in it, because you never get more than what you're going to get. Like, it's what you're going to get, and you have to make the most of it. And you never get, I guess the better way to say is, you never get more to, like, maybe you start the game out 0 for 5. You might not get the next 5.
Yeah.
To even it out. Whereas like Steph, players like that who've earned it, of course, they're always going to get it. They're just always going to get the looks, always going to get the opportunity. So I think anyone who can come in and in a low volume way be efficient.
Yep.
That to me is like, that's the winning recipe for sure, to have a player like that on your team. And he's proven that. And maybe that's like always what he should have been. But going number one and being a star player.
There it is. I mean, the guy was a high school basketball legend. He was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. And so there's expectations that come with that. And so much of our perception is based upon expectations. So much of the narrative around the player is based on expectations. And so when it looked like he was not, I'm using air quotes here, audio listeners, air quotes. When he looked like he was not a good player in Minnesota, he was just miscast in the wrong role. And now he's a fantastic player in the right role, in the right system, with the right guys around him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious. Like, I don't know what his contract situation is.
He makes a lot of money. He makes no, I think he's eligible for an extension this summer, actually.
Okay. Like, does some team come in and it's like, we're seeing how you play. We think you can be that guy again.